Jonathan Linkous is CEO of the American Telemedicine Association. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
When you spoke to ATA TV in 2013, you said growth was huge. In fact, you said telemedicine would double within 2 years. Do you find that telehealth is still growing by leaps and bounds?
Telehealth is enormously growing right now. We are in the midst of we are witnessing what will be a tsunami that's coming on us. And we hope that we're riding the wave rather than under it, but it's definitely coming. If you look at the number of press reports, the number of investment companies that are getting into the field, it's all the things you see that are cluttering together right before you have the huge surge in the market. And we're starting to get the surge already, but we think this is going to be a tremendous year.
You said setting clinical standards and protocols is an important issue for the ATA across the country. Is that still the case, and where does that stand?
I think that's probably the most important part of the growth. We've been talking a long time about the importance of reimbursement and of getting additional money. Of course, that's still important. But now that telemedicine has taken off and 1,000 flowers are blooming, we've got to start aligning ourselves so that patients can be assured that they have quality, consistent services, whether they're getting them in New York or in California or in China. I mean, telemedicine goes beyond the borders of hospitals, and our important job with an ATA is to make sure we have the guidelines, the guardrails, so to speak, so that we know that clinicians can be providing these services in a quality way that put patients first and on a consistent basis. That's the whole purpose of what we're doing.
What do you find to be the biggest challenge right now that ATA members are dealing with?
Oh, geez, there are 4 challenges. One is the challenge of size. You know, if you're a startup organization and you're used to serving 200 patients in a pilot project, well, that's going really well, but all of a sudden you get an order for providing services to 200,000 patients, and you have to start it by next week. That's a huge challenge to be able to ramp up with the size. That's a real issue for them. So that's one of the things. The other one is the growing diversity. So telemedicine used to be a primary care doc in an academic institution working into a hospital in a rural area. Now it's everything. It's a wearable technology that people are wearing. It's patients themselves taking the technology home and using them within their wireless devices. It's specialty areas like a radiologist or a dermatologist or an intensivist that are using this. So it's a whole variety of things. It's the entire spectrum of healthcare that's transforming almost overnight.
And how is the ATA helping them?
So that's a very good question. We do 2 or 3 things. One, we talked about our standards, when our clinical guidelines, setting up, and we don't just do it ourselves. We're working with the medical societies, we're working with the regulatory agencies, even with the government agencies to set these things up. That's one of the things. Certainly our work in public policy, both in Congress and in the state capitals, in the state medical boards, in the regulatory agencies, on all of these areas, and now increasingly international, is our role to help spread the word and talking to folks like yourself in the press.
Jonathan, can I ask you what the goals are for the next 6 to 12 months?
Wow, it is such a dynamic time. We have so many things going on. Not only the expansion of our programs and activities that we talked about earlier, but we have a couple of special things that are coming up. One, the growth of the online web consult sites are so big. Hundreds of thousands of people are now going over the internet to get consultations from a doctor. There's a lot of firms out there, but once again, you got to make sure you know which are the good ones, which are the bad ones, which are the ones that are following the law and doing the appropriate things. So we're setting up an accreditation program. The accreditation program will be for online websites. That will be rolled out by this fall. We've been working on this for 2 years. We have the involvement of many of the major players in healthcare. That's a very exciting development. The second one is we are going international. We are having a meeting in China in October. It's going to be a big meeting, 5,000 people from all over, not only China, but all over the world. We're co-sponsoring meetings in Peru and South Korea. The internationalization of telemedicine has begun.
All right. Well, Jonathan Linkous, the CEO of the American Telemedicine Association, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.